Hello and welcome back. It's a new video. I'm Ninja Chortle, and we got a new video on the channel finally. It's been uh, I think February was the last one that I put up, and the last custom that I did say that I was taking the break, and break's over. We're back. So today's video is going to be all about me. Well, we're gonna talk for a bit. So obviously, I'm not showing off a new toy today. But this is going to be kind of probably a long video. I don't really know exactly because I ramble, so it happens. But I do want to talk. So just in case, so I know the video's titled, the preview and everything. If you're not interested in hearing me talk for a while, I'm going to put timestamps below so that you can see exactly where I actually start talking about what my previews are or what I'm going to be making. So if you just want to skip all of my chatterbox mouth, go ahead and click down below in the description. I will leave timestamps down there. But what I am going to actually talk about today is going to be three things. I'm going to talk about what I've been doing the last couple of months since I haven't made any videos. And then I want to talk about a new philosophy going forward that does affect my output, affect what I'm actually going to make drastically. I will get into that, of course, and then I'll actually talk about and show off, just like I did the last time in my preview video. I'll show you actual pictures of what I intend on making and what's planned and so on for the next couple months. And then we can chat a little bit about my break, the next break that I take, and how that works. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the last time, again, I made a video. I said I was going to take a break. My breaks are normally about two things. It's about resting and like just allowing myself to get caught up on getting like actual parts and pieces and more fodder stuff because I might run out of, like this last time I ran out of legs, thighs and specifically, and some torsos. I didn't have enough, so I need to reacquire that stuff, and I usually just stock up so I can do a big run. So taking a break for that. Also, this stuff's expensive. I need money. I've been spending a lot of money on this stuff, way too much, and just trying to save up some money or just allow myself to get caught up on bills and things like that. So just taking a break from making things and not constantly buying new fodder pieces. But the other thing I do as well is I get caught up on video games because I pretty much focus all of my time on making customs, and I don't play or games or watch movies or do much else. For the most part, I still try to fit some stuff in there, but I don't play hardcore, RPGs or anything like that. Games, long form games while I'm making customs because it'll be too distracting. So one of the things I did, actually, the first thing I did, um, well, I'll just talk about it's right here. So the last game I just finished, I literally finished it like 20 minutes ago, was Metroid Prime remastered because that was unexpected. They actually announced it and released it like right the week before I took my break. So that was a completely unexpected thing that this was coming out. And I had to fit this in there because in my break time, because I've been wanting to play this game for so long. I never had a GameCube, so um, quick thoughts on it. It's okay. I mean, it's fun, but it has issues. But I do like it. But yeah, like the last time I took a break for gaming stuff, I was playing Soul Hackers 2, and I actually didn't finish it because I was so anxious to get back to making toys that I just kind of stopped towards the end, maybe like 75% done. So when I took this current break, I went back to finish Soul Hackers 2. And I really enjoyed that game. It's not Persona 5. It's not nowhere near as good as that, but it is a solid game. It's fun. I really like Ringo. I really like Fig. And we'll probably talk about them a little bit more later on because I'll probably make figures of them. But yeah, it was Soul Hackers 2. And then I'm pretty sure I went straight into Fire Emblem Warriors, the original Fire Emblem Warriors game. because I wanted to try that first before I played Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes. And I really enjoyed Fire Emblem Warriors. It was just a solid game. Nothing too crazy, but just good. And then after that, I believe was Resident Evil 4. So that came out at the end of March, and I absolutely love it. You can't see my Leon. I think he was in maybe no, he couldn't have been because he came out in March. He's I got my collector's edition Leon way up there. As a matter of fact, while we're on this subject, one of the things I have been doing, things are a lot different in the background here from the last time I took a video. There was like a dresser here that had no clothes in it, so I got rid of that and put bookshelves on the wall to have my collections go there. So I have my Marvel vs. Capcom collection there. I will make an updated video on the Marvel vs. Capcom collection probably towards the end of the year because I'm going to be adding more to it quite a bit between the Jada Toys, Street Fighter figures, my customs, and then other statues and figures that I've been purchasing and will be purchasing by the end of the year. It's going to be drastically different than the last time I posted about it, which was actually like a month or two ago. I posted in the community tab a picture of what the collection looked like when I still had that dresser there. And yeah, like a week later, I pretty much nuked that area and rearranged it to what it is now. So you'll see that later on. And yeah, there's just a lot of other things I've been trying to work on. I'm trying to move some things around and stuff and get stuff situated. What other games I played? I played Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes. I absolutely love that game and I'm obsessed with Fire Emblem at this point. I did play Fire Emblem Three Houses last summer, so I'm pretty obsessed with that. I have not played Engage yet. I will be trying that most likely at some point. I'm waiting for it to go on sale, so like Black Friday probably. Maybe next time I take a break, I'll play it. I'm not sure. I'm not super jazzed about that one, but I might try it out. And then I also played Bayonetta 3, which was a mixed bag. It got better at the end, but for the most part, it was a mixed bag. I don't know what they're intending on doing with that franchise, but yeah, I had to play it. I love Bayonetta 1 and 2, so I had to get that in there. And for the most part, that's it, right? I think it was just those games. Oh yeah, Street Fighter 6 that came out too. I played that for like I'm not gonna lie, I played it for like one night. I played the open beta with my friends, and that was fun. And then when the game came out, I pretty much went to create a character and started making SNK fighters and not actually playing the game. I did play the trials for Chun-Li and Gammy, but that's pretty much all that I've done with Street Fighter 6. So, but I'm not an online player, so that's pretty much why. And then I focused on other stuff. So I'll do story mode later, probably more casually. But yeah, other things that I've done, just to throw them out there. Like I said, I've been rearranging the room, trying to get that stuff together. I went to C2E2. Also, that was like the beginning of March, and that's kind of where I'm going to transition into the next section, where I started this new philosophy. So I got this thing where at C2E2, um, I don't know if anyone cares or knows if they're in the hobby of collecting like that, but in Final Fantasy VII Remake, they have this sequence in Remake where Cloud is riding his bike and has got Jesse on the back seat, and they're like firing. She's firing off at enemies, and he's slashing folks and stuff. It's this cool sequence, and they made that into an action figure. Square Enix did, and it came out maybe 2 years ago, maybe three. I'm not sure. It was like $400 for the bike, Cloud, and Jesse. You can buy them individually, but together they're about $400, and they're still $400 if you buy them brand new from Square Enix today. But at C2E2, I was just looking for fodder pieces, fodder toys, and just scrounging around, just doing what I can for a good deal. And I happened to notice this booth had the whole package: Cloud, Bike, Jesse, for $200, brand new. And I made up every excuse in the world to say that's a great deal. And I had to buy it. So I bought it. And now I don't need to make Jessie anymore. It's huge. It's like she's huge. The bike is huge. It's back there. You can't see it because the PlayStation and it's just, small, but it's back there. Um, it's huge. It's like they're like 12 inches. Or actually I measured. They're 9 inches. They're huge. Um, why do I need to make that Jessie just because I make toys and I make them smaller? I don't need to make that Jessie. I spent $200 on the Jessie, the bike. I was gonna make the bike. I was gonna make Cloud, but like, why am I forcing myself to spend more money on something I spent a lot of money on? And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I love articulation, but I'm not an articulated comic book art person. I enjoy the art. Sorry for any loud noises there. I enjoy the art of articulated comic book art. I enjoy seeing those pictures and those posts, and I respect those creators. But for me, I'm more of a collector. I just want to have the things that make me happy, have the things that are closely related to stuff that I follow, that I'm a fan of. I don't need them to be posing and like they're most of these guys are back here on vanilla poses just because I just want to have them. It's not so much that they need to be looking badass and flying. Like I do have people in flying set flight stands and stuff like that. But for what it's worth, it's just they're back there. I don't have a lot of room to have them all superposed out anyway. So that's kind of where I'm at. Here's an example as well. I I made this Faye Valentine figure, this custom, a couple of years ago at this point, and there was issues with it. I still like it, and I know I'm super overexposed here, so I'm sorry for that. Obviously, you can check out the videos on the channel if you want to watch the Faye Valentine custom video. But as much as I like this, I had already made plans on to revamping this. So one of the things that, which is another change in philosophy, there's actually a new technique that I'm going to be trying out when I make my customs, um, to see if I can get more articulation. As much as I'm saying I don't really care for articulation, I want to get more articulation out of all of these soft plastic pieces and not be so restricted on, like, say, a character that wears a skirt but rides a bike, which is something that will be coming up very shortly, or a character that has a cape, but the cape, like Hasbro stuff, that is soft, it's bendable, but it's still kind of stiff and it gets in the way. So I'm going to be trying something new. Hopefully it works out. I haven't tested it yet. It's just an idea in my head and I'm going to implement it. But it would have worked to give Faye her red jacket, if and when I was going to actually remake this like I was planning on doing. But I don't need to remake it because I bought this. This is a pop-up parade Faye Valentine. It's a statue. Do I need it to be articulate? No, I don't. I don't care. This is plenty good. Like, it's Pop-Up Parade in general is a very, very well sculpted, well painted, great deco. They have a quite a bit of characters. They don't have everyone, but as far as Cowboy Bebop, they do have everyone. They do have Spike, they have Jet Black, they have Edward, and they have Faye. I only bought Faye. But the point is, why did I buy this and spend $30, $40 on this and then also make one? It makes no sense. This is, for me, this is fine. I'm happy with this because it's in my collection. I have official Faye Valentine merchandise, and that's all that I want. I don't need her posable. I'm not going to be taking a bunch of pictures. I'm not going to do any ACBA or anything like that. I just wanted her there. And that's the idea. I have Cloud now. In fact, I already had Cloud before this. I had a Cloud statue that I'm selling right now on eBay because I have the Cloud action figure with Jesse and the bike. I'd rather have that. And I spent a lot of money on that. So that's the whole point. I'm doing this because it just makes sense, especially if I can get them cheap. You know, there's statues and stuff that are out there for characters that are really expensive, but I don't want to pay for that. So I can, if I can make it cheaper, then I'll make it and then have it for cheap. Or in the case of say DC, there's DC whatever the McFarlane stuff. They're scaled at 7 inches and they're really butt ugly. So I don't really want to buy DC figures from McFarlane. So I'll just make them out of Marvel Legends. So there's this balance that I'm been going forward with, changing things and how and what and who I make based off of this new philosophy. With that said, I completely eliminated the desire to make Sailor Moon stuff. You can see Usagi a little bit right there. I bought this Usagi statue SC2E2 for 20 bucks, and then the rest of the girls are coming out in that same style later on this year, and I'm going to just buy those. And I don't need to make them, even though it's huge. It's like 9 inches. It's a big statue, but it's like $25. If I made Sailor Moon figures, I wouldn't just make one. I would make all these different costumes, and then each character would have like 5 or 6 different looks, and then I would have a whole shelf full of a bunch of Sailor Moon stuff that would cost me hundreds of dollars just to make. You see the idea here that I'm just wasting a bunch of money on making stuff that I could buy for cheap. Like that's the whole idea. Like another but then there's like Pokemon. There's hardly any figures for Pokemon characters, particularly the female ones. But they're Pokemon themselves. So I don't have to buy the Pokemon. But as far as the characters goes, not much. Evangelion, those are pricey, but they're also statues. And I bought a Mari statue. You can't see her. Again, it's too dark. But I bought a Mari statue not that long ago as well. I'm still going to make Mari. I'm still going to make some Evangelion stuff. I have some really cool ideas that I want to be implementing pretty soon. But for what it's worth, another great example, your Forger from Spy Family, and I was going to make Lloyd Forger as well. It's right here. I bought, I bought this arcade figure a couple months ago, maybe like January, I think, with the intentions of using it to turn into Lloyd Forger because it's pretty much his suit. I just have to repaint it and find a head that would be decent for Lloyd and give him a gun and be done, right? And I paid like $10 for that. It was super cheap. So that's the whole point. It was super cheap. It was on sale, but since then, I've bought Lloyd Forger. You can't quite see him, but yeah, that's him right there. And look, there's your is right there in red, and then I have Anya down there, and there's another Anya up here as well. I'm done. I'm gonna do the spy the Thorn Princess costume for your that's coming out next year. There's a couple of other options I can get right now if I really wanted to, but the whole point is, um, why make it and my version be inferior to what a factory could produce, you know? And my painting is good, sure. I can sculpt decently, but not perfectly. Sometimes articulation's a problem, and other things come in the way, but mostly it's cost. You know, if I can pay $20 for something and it looks fantastic, that's better than me making it. So I'm not making any Spy Family stuff unless they never make certain characters. You know, I'm not going to get too far into that, but that's the idea basically. So that being said, let's talk about my actual list of what I intend on making because, like I said, um, I don't need to make. I don't have to remake Faye. At least this is now. I'm gonna fodder this and reuse it for some other character. Um, at least the parts and pieces because I have my statue now, so I'm good. That being said, A couple months ago, I came across it's not it wasn't a garage sale, but a guy that just sells toys out of his garage, online mostly, but he just had his garage open and I walked in and he let me buy stuff. I was able to purchase the Cree Century from him for decent price, and now I'm going to change that into the Sentinel from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So that's going to be my first full custom that I'll be making. I'm actually going to be doing some small stuff first, some painting things. Actually, we'll real quick talk about that because um, it's all right here. So one thing that I've done before, sorry, not prepared. Um, I've done this before, and this is a finished version, but I'm gonna redo this. So what it is I have a bunch of paint, but sometimes I don't know, most of the time I don't know what it looks like on an actual body, like actually painted. And these are all different flesh tones as well as mixtures of flesh tones. So I know what that looks like when it's actually out of the bottle on a piece of plastic with finish on it. So I'd be like, oh, okay, that's what that color is supposed to look like. Oh, because it might look different in the bottle. So now I know this is, mahogany brown. This is basic flesh tone. They're all Vallejo paints, by the way. This is flat flesh tone. This is light flesh tone. You can barely see it. I'm sorry. But the idea is I'm actually using the paint instead of waiting until game time, basically, to figure out whether or not it's the right color. I have this as a reference. So I'm going to redo these because I have more flesh tone paints and other paints I just want to mix together and see what all of that stuff looks like ahead of time, because I want to be as good as I can with flesh tone accuracy, or at least get a good flesh tone color going for what I intend on making. That said, after I do all my small time stuff, which will take a day or two maybe, but I'm going to start making this Marvel vs. Capcom Sentinel out of the Kree Century. I won't get into all the details about that right now, but just know that I'm going to be doing that. There will be a video on Kree Century into Sentinel. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, a lot of what I'm going to be doing over the course of the next however long, I don't know, is remaking figures that I've made in my early days. So it's actually, as of right now, it's been about 3 years since I made my first custom action figure and first video that went on the channel, and that was Rachel Summers. It was this costume right here, and I still have it, still sitting back there, and it still looks decent, but there are issues. There were always issues. It was my first custom. She's too tall. The head actually, I completely forgot about this, but the head actually does not fit on the neck peg, and I had to glue it onto there. So I'm going to use a different head now that actually fits as it's supposed to, and prime and give her proper scaling and so on. And just this costume is going to get remade, and I'm going to be really happy when it is remade. It's going to look great. But while I'm at it, I'm going to make other Rachel Summers costumes. In particular, this was also a Marvel Legend by Hasbro back in the early days of Hasbro, those dark days. I got rid of this figure a couple years ago because I knew I was going to remake it. So it's time for me to remake this costume for Rachel. And then we're going to have her in her hound costume. I haven't decided if I'm going to do the black one or the red one or both. I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to get there. I do intend on making this flame phoenix effect as well. I have the parts. Again, I'll get into that when it's actually time to make that video, and you'll see all of that stuff. Another thing that's sitting by me within arm's reach is this Johnny Storm figure that has been sitting by my foot by this computer for about 2 years, literally sitting there collecting dust because I've been holding on to it with the intentions of making Nightwing for it because it's mostly a black body and all I have to do is sculpt his hair and the mask and so on. It's supposed to be easy. I should have done it several years ago, but I kept putting it off. It's officially on the list. It's gonna happen now. I'm gonna make Nightwing. We're gonna do a lot of DC because I've been pushing DC off for quite a while. You can see kind of it here. But just Nightwing. I know Zatanna's in this picture. I do want to make a Zatanna at some point, but not right now. She's low priority. I want to make Nightwing. You see Harley's over here too. One of the people that, one of the characters, I should say, that got uh, cuts, I should say, got edits, modifications in my intentions on making stuff is Kyoka from My Hero Academia. I was going to make her in a school uniform. I was going to make her in the hero costume. And then I was going to make these two, her with the guitar playing at the concert and then the deep dope shirt. I'm still making these two because well, I'm not making the other two because I won my hero costume Kyoka is supposed to come out like within the next month or two. I already pre-ordered that. And then there is her school uniform that comes with a guitar. That's a pop-up parade that's coming out sometime next year, and I already pre-ordered that. So again, now it's just why would I make those if I already ordered them sort of deal. I don't think that they'll ever make a deep dope or this outfit for her, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and just make them. She is my favorite character, so I want all of the looks. Um anyway. So that's the biggest reason why this has happened. But it made me cancel completely. Also, Suyu Asui, if you're familiar with My Hero Academia, I bought her here student costume pop-up parade figure already. It's back on my shelf up there. And then she has her hero costume and a figure coming out in the next couple months that I already ordered. So I don't need to touch that one. And then Momo, which I have here. Yeah. Yeah. So I made this Momo figure a few months ago, and I love it, but I didn't paint her face very well. And I was going to redo it and make all her other costumes too, but then there's a new statue of Momo coming out. And it only costs $25 and it looks great. So now this one's gonna get scrapped. I'm gonna fodder this. I'm not gonna keep this anymore. It's you know, I'm saving money in the long run, kind of a sort of deal, basically. All right, back at it. Next up is Madeline Pryor, another figure I made in my early days, and it's over here somewhere. There it is. So, I'm remaking it for two reasons. One, because the scale was wrong, because it was my early days, I didn't know. I have a new way of scaling, so I want to scale her properly. But yeah, you can see issues. Well, I took her leg off, so that's not really the issue. But the other issue is the pin on her neck broke. So that's one. And two, her cape with the this thing on it, that that never really attached perfectly back then, back 3 years ago when I made it the first time, and it's been that long, truly. So I'm actually fixing it, and I'm gonna do it right this time. And I'm gonna be hopefully implementing my new strategy for this plastic, this flexible plastic, and it'll look really good. Hopefully, I will not be using this anymore, um, because it's too hard. and we'll see. It might even have bendy wires in there. So cross his fingers. I hope that my ideas are going to pan out, but I don't know for sure yet. That being said, I'm also going to make this. This is a statue that I could buy and I could have bought a couple years ago, but I didn't want it then. But I want a figure now, and now it's a little too pricey, so I can just make it. But this is Goblin Queen from Mutant X. So that was fun, a fun read back in the day, back in the 90s. So I'm going to have two Madeline Pryor figures, and those are the only costumes that I will acknowledge um, for her. That said, next up, Spiral X Force. I bought two of the new spirals. One I do have back here on the Marvel versus Capcom shelf. The other one is still in a package, waiting to be opened so I could make this. Now, I actually wanted to wait a little while just to see if Hasbro makes an official X Force version, so I don't have to paint one. I actually surprised that I haven't seen anyone make one on like Instagram, like any other customizers. Maybe someone has, but I haven't seen anyone tackle it. So okay, sure, I'll do it. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna wait. This video is going up before Comic Con this year, so maybe Hasbro in the next couple days will reveal, that they are gonna do it, and then I'll just cancel, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Harley Quinn has been on my list of characters to do the last time I made this video, and I never did it because the actual reason why is because I ran out of Procreate putty because I needed to sculpt her ponytails with, actually soft material, soft hair. I can't use hard sculpt for that. Her ponytails and stuff. Um, and even this part on her ears, I ran out. So I had to push her back. I was going to do it last time, but I just ordered Procreate putty like literally yesterday. It should be coming in soon, and I will be ready to make all of these Harley Quinns. I'm pretty sure this is the exact ones that I'm going to make. I will make like one last trip. Like for sure, I'm doing this one. Absolutely happening. For sure, I'm doing this one because of the animated series. I want it to look like animated series. I love the animated series. And this one is still a maybe, but I do like it. And this one, I think it's from the Injustice games. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure I'm gonna make this one, but we'll see. Um, yeah, we'll get there. Diantha's another one of those where I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with the jacket. I kind of want to do that new technique, and hopefully, actually, you know what? This debuted right when I took my break too. So this is from Pokemon Masters, so that'll be fun too to get that done. But Diantha, another Pokemon girl. Marnie, I had to push off because again, I didn't have the Procreate putty to make her hair. Again, she's going to be adult version. This is not going to be her as a kid. So we're going to make these outfits, but she will have an adult looking body and she will be aged up in my eyes. And that's going to be across the board with all the Pokemon girls. Again, since the last time I made videos, Resident Evil 4 came out and it's time to make Ada. This is only 4 Adas. This is the new version right here. And then we have the old RE4 version. We have RE6 and then RE2 remake here. That's only 4. I can't guarantee that's all I'm going to make. I might make more than that. When I get closer to Ada, I'm going to look a little bit more at her costumes from the past. Like original RE2 Ada has a different costume than these. And then she has a costume that in RE4 Mercenaries that's a little different, I think. And then they still haven't done separate ways for the new RE4 remake. So I'm hoping we can see some more costumes for Ada at some point by then, because by the time I get to this, we're looking at maybe September, October, I'm guessing. So we'll see. Hopefully, we'll have some announcement on that. And then again, all of this is not even like guaranteed. It's all subject to change. I may do a figure that's not on this list. I might push things back and change the order of what I make and stuff like that. So it's never guaranteed. That's why things keep getting pushed. But Ashley is also on this list. Like, I'm going to make Ashley as well. This is RE4 remake, original Ashley, as well as original Ashley in the white costume, which I am looking forward to greatly. I think that's pretty much all the Ashleys other than her in the armor, which I'm not going to do. Yeah, that being said, another one that I pushed off that I'm kind of ready to start is Mary Jane. I'm going to get back into doing Mary Jane. I'm actually going to redo this, which I have. I have a whole bunch of figures over here. And one of the things is, well, I won't get into it, but let's just say that they're all a big pile of figures that I've made customs for, they're going to remake, or they're figures that have official releases, but I don't like them, so I'm going to redo them and stuff like that. And this one is one that I'm going to redo anyway because I don't like the proportions on it. Like, I like this figure. I've made this figure. There's a video on the channel for my J. Michael Straczynski MJ, and people really like this video. I do appreciate the support for that, but I don't like the proportions on this anymore, and I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it to my current stylings of proportions and fix some issues that I have and trying to make it look a little bit more presentable. um, don't get me wrong, they'll still have all of that. So it'll still have that. So I'm not taking that away. It's gonna hopefully look better and more proportionate. Another thing, all of my old figures have Mod Podge on them because I use that as a sealer, and I don't use Mod Podge anymore. So I want to take all of that off, and these characters won't have shiny skin and shiny legs and stuff. So it's just going to be an update, but I'm also doing all of the rest of MJ, like classic MJ and animated series MJ just released. I was also waiting for that to come out to see what it looked like. I don't like the figure that Hasbro made, so I'm going to make my own, and it will look awesome. And then this also. I can't wait to start this. This is gonna be so sick. But yeah, I got the Waldos off of the Peter Parker version of Iron Spider, and I'm just gonna glue them on the back of a female buck and then go from there. It'll be Mary Jane, and it will be awesome. So I can't wait. Um, my Shiranui, another character that I've been pushing off for a little while, and I'm gonna make at least these three versions. I know that's, but this is supposed to be KOF 13. This is supposed to be KOF 98. I think I'm not 100% sure. And this, I'm not sure where it came from, but I do want her in this casual outfit. So the only other thing is I kind of want her in a bikini, but it kind of defeats the purpose. It is my, but we'll see. There's other outfits I'm thinking about. And Jill Valentine is another one. I've already made, oops, this one. I'm going to remake it, take the Mod Podge off, give her the better proportions and so on, but then do all of the rest of these as well. I had been planning on doing RE3 Jill for quite a while. This is Revelations. I'm really excited for that. RE1. This will be on the Marvel vs. Capcom shelf. And then this is BSAA Jill. And this is RE5 Jill, which will also be on the Marvel vs. Capcom shelf. So on. Yeah, the list is long. I'm not going to go over the entire list. I don't know how long it's going to take to even do all of this stuff. I just want to go over what's on this front little part here, and then that's it. Um, so as I mentioned before, characters with a skirt on a motorcycle. I have the Black Widow motorcycle sitting right here. I'm gonna redo this and give Officer Jenny her bike and make Officer Jenny using my new materials, and hopefully that will work and it will look good and she be able to sit on a bike with the skirt on and it not rip the skirt, but also not restrict her ability to articulate. That's the whole point. So that's the hope. We'll see if I get there. Birdie assist for Sabretooth in Marvel vs. Capcom and X-Men vs. Street Fighter. So I'm looking forward to making that. Um, eh, if you got an eagle eye, you can see that it says last edited and created November 8th, 2020. I've been planning this figure out for almost 3 years, just to throw that out there. A lot of this stuff has been up here for a long time. Blue Mary, KOF, original Blue Mary, current Blue Mary. Uh, I don't, I'm not that familiar, but this one too. And then probably this is her ending outfit in KOF 15, and I really like it. So maybe. All right. Dagger is a Marvel Legend that has already been made, but I don't like the proportions. And of course, Legendary Dagger. I got her right here. She's within reach, or at least most of her. Big difference between that and this. With where is it? Where's those? I want those. So I'm gonna give her those and modify her so she looks better than what this figure is, and also make her a little shorter. So that's the idea. I'm gonna get around to doing that. How long have I been planning that one out? December 19th, 2020. So yeah, that's been a long time in coming. Um, Fran. So one thing that happened, we're almost done. I'm gonna wrap this video up soon. One thing that happened is that this year, 2023, is the year of the rabbit. I didn't know that going into it, but it is a year of the rabbit. And I was like, man, it would have been great to have some rabbit bunny related customs go up during the Chinese New Year. But I had already been knee deep in what I was planning. Oh well. Oh, would have been great to have some rabbit or bunny stuff go up during Easter. Oh wait, I was on break during that time. I didn't have any figures. So now I'm just like, okay, let me get something in before the end of the year. So hopefully I put this up on December 30th, 2020. Hopefully I will make Fran. I still have some things I need to work out, but hopefully I will make Fran before the end of the year because I don't know what the Chinese New Year is next year, but if it's not rabbit, because it can't be, yeah, I actually had several things planned that I was going to try to get done by the end of the year, including this Bulma, which we're probably not going to really talk about today, but she does have Bulma and the bunny outfit. I wanted to do that, as well as Mirko from My Hero Academia. She's still kind of a pending, I might do it, I might not sort of situation. But I wanted to at least get Fran in before the end of the year. And lastly, I'm not going to talk about Bulma today, but I am going to talk about DiCapri because specifically DiCapri from Street Fighter because of several reasons. One, I want to announce that I am married and in bed with Cammy from Street Fighter. Like we are together. She's my number one now. It's official. I used to have her at number three, but I am full on simping for Cammy now, and I am all in on that. Without shame. Without shame. All about Cammy. That said, I made Cammy before, and I like the figure, but I have a new proportion scale, and most of like literally my scaling for proportions and how I figure out what to do has been based off of two factors. Has been based off of how do I want Cammy to look, and I base off like this should be what Cammy should scale as compared to other characters and the body type that she should have, quote unquote, like what my new thing is, and also Persona 5, basing it off of how Makoto and Antakamiki should look, and Sae and Haru. And I'm just trying to like, okay, what would make sense when I make those figures? What bodies should they have, and what scale should they be? What height would it be when I put all that stuff together? And when I did that, I apply it across the board to everyone, to X-Men characters, to DC characters, to anime characters, and so on, based off of literally Persona 5 concepts that I haven't even made yet, and my new desire for Cammy. So my old Cammy is not good enough, but I'm going to take the old Cammy and her face and redo it into DiCaprio with the same upper torso that I used on the old Cammy, and put on DiCaprio and make DiCaprio with that. So that way, once DiCaprio's done, I can make Cammy, because I want to use the old stuff that I have. It already has braids and everything. I just want to reuse that head and find a good way to reuse it so I can give Cammy the good stuff, new braids and new, you know, so on. So the Capri got pushed up a lot. She's not like crazy to me. Like I don't really care to Capri that much, but I pushed her up specifically so I can get to Cammy faster, if that makes sense. I'm going to be redoing Chun Li as well. And like I said before, I got Jada Toys Street Fighter figures coming, and I'm going to be keep collecting all of that. But I'm still going to be making Street Fighter for all those alternate costumes and stuff. But yeah, that's a lot. This is already a long enough video. I appreciate you staying around. Like I said, this is just the beginning of what I'm planning on doing. Just a real quick, like I said, I wanted to make Ringo and Fig from Soul Hackers 2. I don't know how long it's going to take to get through this bunch of figures that I want to make. It could be really fast, it can be really slow. It's going to take some time. Um, the next time I take a break, though, it's probably going to be a lengthy one. I don't want it to be, but it might be. That's why I'm glad to get started now. But with all of the stuff coming out at the end of this year, or the second half of this year, I'm talking about games. We have um, Mortal Kombat 1 coming out in September. That's 2 months from now. Spider Man 2 comes out in October. I still have yet to play God of War Ragnarok. I have not played Fire Emblem Engage. I have not played Final Fantasy Crisis Core Reunion yet. And then we still have Persona 5 Tactical coming in November, Super Mario RPG coming in November, Persona 3 Reload coming sometime early next year, and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth coming out early next year. Those are all games that I want to play. And yeah, that's going to take a long time to actually play, because half of those are long form RPGs. So, um, yeah, I don't know when that next break will be, but if I had to guess, it would be at the earliest, it would be December at the earliest. So between now and December, I'm making customs nonstop. Just everything that I got between now and December. I might push it off till January, but come January, with Persona 3 coming out and Final Fantasy 7, you know, right afterward, I'm definitely going to be no later than January. So somewhere between December and January, I'll probably take a break and stop and play a crap ton of games, and be doing that for an awfully long time, because who knows how long it takes to play Persona, Final Fantasy, God of War, Super Mario, Spider-Man, and who knows when Tekken 8 comes out and stuff like that. You know, I'm a victim of being into too many things and having my attentions divided, as well as my finances. But yeah, it's a necessary thing. I have to have some inspiration to make this stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching. I know it was a long video again. The next video I will make will most likely be, again, the Sentinel for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So I don't know how long it's going to take to actually between now and when that video goes up. So just keep your eyes peeled. But I will make it as soon as I am done with all the little small projects that I have to do within the next couple days, and then I'll be starting Sentinel and getting going with the rest of this list, which I'm looking very forward to because, as mentioned, I want to make Fire Emblem and I want to make Persona, but they are nowhere near um, where I'm at on this list because I still have a lot of stuff to do. So, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Make sure you subscribe if you're interested in seeing me make all of this stuff, and leave a comment as well. What other things that you think I can make, think I should make. I'm interested in seeing what you guys got to say in that regard. And yeah, next time. Peace.